Let's go straight to the Jamie Dimon of it all. You watched that, you heard him say that, and you thought what to yourself?
He keeps doubling down and he keeps being wrong. What surprises me is so many of Jamie's clients, right? Some of the wealthiest guys in America, Abby Johnson at Fidelity, Jeff Yass, Stan Druckenmiller, Ray Dalio, big investors all believe that Bitcoin is a store of value. And so I don't know where Jamie gets off thinking that he's smarter than all those guys. I think it's supreme arrogance to think he knows what has value, but all the rest of the people don't. And quite frankly, he's just been proven wrong. Bitcoin has way outperformed JP Morgan stock over 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, you name the period. People around the world believe in this. They believe in the community, the ecosystem. They see governments spending too much money, not just here in the US, but everywhere, and think you're going to debase fiat currency. And so, I mean, the story has kind of already been argued and won. When Larry Fick went on your show and said, I think you're going to see Bitcoin in all portfolios, I think, it was kind of game over.
How much do you think actually what Jamie Dimon's saying was an effort to stymie or to slow down or to make the SEC rethink wherever it may be if you think that the winds are shifting in your favor, for example? I was trying to get in his head yesterday about why he's doing this, right? I mean, pandering to Elizabeth Warren maybe so she doesn't come down hard on banks. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of sense. Listen, the SEC is going to approve a Bitcoin ETF, and they're going to do it soon. Mike, there are going to be people who are watching us who are going to say, Mike Novogratz is talking his book. He's got so much money invested in this stuff, it's got to work for him. And then there's other people who might say Jamie Dimon's talking his book. I will say I'm deferring. No, I'm not deferring that I'm necessarily agreeing with Jamie Dimon per se, but I don't think that he's talking his book in that I believe that this is a view he has held. You may believe it's incorrect, but I think it's a genuine view that he has.
Listen, he's been consistently wrong. I like Jamie. I actually want him to run for president. I think he's a very smart guy, but he's been consistently wrong on Bitcoin. He just has. And what he's been wrong about is the appeal continues to show up everywhere, right? This is one of the only global assets, not just in the US, but in Japan and Korea. Everywhere you see people, you see Bitcoin. And, that story, it's a system of narrative, actually, right? It's the social construct between two people who say, I believe this has value, therefore it does. Very similar to gold. And that continues to percolate all over the globe.
Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and XRP is still at 64 cents. Yeah. Thank you for all the kind comments yesterday, full of humor, pointing out that I had said 64,000 yesterday. Oh, that's too funny. Sorry about that. Well, most everything, as you can see, is going in the right direction. This is the top 50 by market cap. And yeah, we've got some modest 1 to 2% gains, but check out Cardano and Solana. They're in this top 50 and a little over 12% in the last 24 hours. Pretty good. It looks like Ethereum just made a move too, just during the time of this recording. Wow, yesterday's video, whoo-wee. Well, this caused about 24 DMs from some key developers in the space. Yeah, from all camps. Everybody has an opinion. My opinion is it's interesting that this was a Ripple-initiated hackathon winner and that they would use a hook in the solution. So we still don't have the details of the exact logic of this hook. And that's to be determined still, but I will keep working on it. I haven't missed any of the comments in requesting help and assistance for the Evers registration airdrop. Yes, that page that was put out there as a tutorial really is the best for you to go by. If you do have your XRP on Ledger, there has not been a tool written. And so, yeah, I'm sure that you're a little disappointed because you don't want to move your tokens over to the ZUM And I totally understand that. Also, too, there's some misinformation or misunderstanding, actually. You don't ever reveal your secret keys. What you're doing is you're just registering your R address so that they know where to drop those tokens. There have been about 30,000 wallets registered thus far. And when I had a talk with Scott, because he's going to bring some educational videos to the channel, a series of 8 of them starting on the 20th of December. There'll be about one every 2 weeks. I was so impressed with the number. I don't know if I can even say what that number is, but I didn't ask him, so I won't say, but I was really blown away by the amount of node operators that they have already. I don't think you would have any idea how many people are participating. So this global permissionless layer 2 smart contracts platform that's composed from the Zahao network is going to be very powerful, very interesting, and I think it's going to attract a lot of builders. So we had a big announcement today, and that is the Builder series is pretty much done, except for the one mystery builder that we will probably keep secret all the way until the XRP Gold Coast Australia 2024 in March takes place on that day. Kind of fun, but check out the diversity. The builders represent projects that are on the greater ecosystem of XRP Ledger. There is education, data, carbon tracking, payments, gaming, analysis, sports athlete and health training data, finance, security, and yet this one mystery builder. I'm curious if you have any thoughts who it might be. FIO, who is a security company, is one of the builders, and I've asked them to please give me feedback on this new Uphold Vault wallet. It is called Assisted Self-Custody. I would maybe call it Managed Self-Custody, but I'm going to have them give some of their feedback because this is a whole new way to handle security and digital assets. Within those interviews that I did for the Builder series, the person that is behind this website here, Equal, is Tori West. She's just remarkable. I was so impressed, and I'm going to release her 10-minute video this weekend. You don't want to miss it. She is an athlete. She's working towards the next Olympics, and she is bringing a solution that really solves a problem for the athletes having control over their data. Huge announcement out of Futureverse today. They have announced an exclusive partnership with Reebok. And I just love this world because we're seeing the convergence of utility NFTs, digital tokens, legacy economies, AI, and the Metaverse is all unfolding together. So in the case of Reebok, they're not just sneakers, but the experience while wearing them. And my Futureverse party bear is definitely doing the Reebok shimmy. Now, before I play this video, this is a clip that I curated that will take you out. I want to warn you, this is probably going to cause a lot of lively spaces on X. It's about front running and the AMM on the XRP ledger. It's part of the Ubri Connect content. It's just a few days old, very much under the radar. I know it's going to be triggering for a lot of people. But first, let's just jump to a little fluff. I follow somebody on Twitter called Powder Bum, and they are a couple in Niigata, Japan, which is a very cold and snowy place in the winter. They're looking for a home, so I'm having a really great time with her shopping. And they're shopping everywhere, actually. They must be some sort of digital nomad. They can live anywhere because I've seen them look at places in Kobe and Kyoto, and they seem to be concentrating a lot in Niigata, probably because of the prices and probably because there's a lot of empty houses there. So this is a real extreme example. Yesterday's example was quite beautiful. It was a house that was built in 1956. It was 12,000 square feet. It was just 82,000 US dollars. It was just absolutely unbelievable in terms of the amount of home that you received, and 5 parking spaces, and it was a little bit remote. You know, these houses, when they're out of the metropolitan areas, you have to drive, and which is okay. I bet, but when you live in the city, you don't need a car here in Japan. And yeah, there's just a lot of conveniences to living in the city. I'm not sure I could do it, but you know, there's a lot of house out there in the countryside. Now, here is one, and somebody did leave a comment and said, is it true that you can't buy if you're a foreigner? No. You can buy if you're a foreigner. And as a matter of fact, the yen is so low right now that there's a lot of talk. I can remember when this happened in the United States and the yen was really strong. The Japanese were coming and buying a lot of property in California, in the Bay Area where I grew up. And now it's the opposite. They've got so many foreigners coming into Japan and buying. And much of I think there's 200 buildings, high rises, like big, huge buildings being built in the city right now. I think the last count was 200. A lot of those are like 40 stories and up. And they have investors from China, from Russia, from the United States. That just globally, this place is really booming with real estate because the yen is so low right now. So there's a lot of activity going on. But domestically, there's still a lot of vacant houses, older homes. Now, here's the extreme. I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but the houses that are free in Japan are many, but they do come with strings. Here is one. This one costs less than a penny, but you have to farm the adjacent land. So this is where the house is being thrown in. It was built in 1913. It has a dirt floor, but I will show you one aspect of the inside that if you had a lot of imagination and you had a lot of money to renovate, something in this house is worth keeping. Let me show you. No, not this. I thought I would just give you the back side view first. It's rough. Boy, it needs a lot of help. I don't know if, to be honest, I don't even know if it's safe. And they do get earthquakes in all parts of the country here. So I don't know. It must be pretty strong. It's been through a few quakes over the years since the time it was built, because Niigata's had a few good shakers. But let me show you what is so amazing in this one. If you could save this part of the house, it could be really fabulous. It's the ceiling in this building. It could be brought to some renovated level of just absolute stunning beauty. I've seen some of these done before, and there's just nothing like them, especially with these big, massive one-piece trusses. And it's just, wow, it's just pretty incredible. But everything else looks, wow, I don't think it's salvageable. So there's 7 rooms. It has a dining room. It has a kitchen. And it is 180 square meters. And it does have a kura too, which is a warehouse. Yeah, built in 1913. So the catch on this one was you need to farm the land. So if you want to be a farmer, these are the kinds of opportunities that you can come across. The other string that often is attached to these homes out in these remote villages is you have to be under a certain age combined, the couple, and also you have to have children. And those children, they go by a point system, how old they are, how many you have. And the more you have and the younger they are, the higher your point system, and the chances are that you'll be awarded by the city to get that house for free. So that's how it kind of works. But if you are a foreigner and you're looking for maybe not a free house, but looking for a house, of course you can buy. And everyone is doing it right now because the yen is so low. So let's jump to that video that's going to take you out, and I'm curious for your comments. Until next time, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.
Thank you. That these front runners, their intention is that they're just sitting over there and they're waiting for a user to make a transaction or a call for a transaction. And they say, hey, this user sees value in this. You know what? Then let me buy it, and then possibly I can sell it for higher to these users back. Is that really what they want to do?
You nailed it. That is exactly what front running is. I'm exploiting the fact that the front runner is exploiting the fact that whatever the user is buying it for is a little bit more expensive than the actual value. And so the front runner buys the asset for the actual value and sells back to the user at the increased price.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
the
the-
difference is the profit what the front runner earns.
The good news is that front running on XRP Ledger is much more difficult than on Ethereum already.
That's a good news.
That's fantastic news. And the reason being is that the developers of XRP Ledger forethought about this issue, that transaction execution order might be manipulable. So instead of using the transaction fee as the metric by which to execute the transactions, they use something that is called the canonical order. And in essence, all it is kind of a set of rules that are used to sort the transactions, and the end result is it's a pseudo-random shuffle.
Well, it's hard to eliminate it, but how we can mitigate front running on XRP Ledger?
It's hard. The bottom line, it's really, really, really hard. Because again, these are kind of the fundamental properties of the blockchain.
The XRP ledger is more resilient than most of the blockchains out there against front running, but it's still not perfect. And front running has been steadily increasing over the last years. So I would really think that this is an issue we need to address now before it becomes too big and it hurts the XRP ledger.
I agree, and with the addition of automated market maker that we are proposing now, the things might get worse. So we need more research in this direction.
We have already seen front running happening on the order book, and with the introduction of the automated market makers, there's the techniques that apply on Ethereum decentralized exchanges could also apply on the automated market maker of XRP Ledger. Concretely on XRP Ledger is that in the decentralized exchange, something might be sold for $9, but the victim is buying it for the $10.
Mm-hmm.
And there are legitimate reasons where you might want to do that. And so what the front runner does is buys the assets for $9 and then sells it for $10 to the victim.
So how I'm not losing anything then?
Well, without the front runner, your transaction would have been executed at $9. So because the blockchain guarantees you the best possible price, not whatever you want to buy.
Oh, okay.
So basically,
I
the
see.
transaction is I'm willing to buy this for a price of up to $10.
So that's the slippage tolerance that we talk about, and that's what's being exploited.
Oh, okay.
You could ideally buy it at 9, but you are willing to buy it up to 10. If there was no front runner, you could buy it at 9, but the front runner is pushing you to. You're still getting it
okay.
within the limits that you stipulated, but you could get better.
So does that like beat the whole purpose of the technology? Like meaning the efficiency of the technology, me trusting the technology, me saying that, hey, this technology is so super that it's going to give me the best possible outcome as compared to any other technology. But then it beats the purpose of it because the front runners come in and then the technology loses its value.
You nailed it.
It does to some extent, but there are other things that are better. Like, for example, like it's a decentralized exchange. You get all the benefits of a decentralized blockchain technology. Combine OrderBook-based exchange with automated market maker. It provides you 24/7 liquidity. All the time liquidity is available. You will always get a price quote. It may not be the best, but you'll always have liquidity. There are certain guarantees. It comes with trade-offs. But yeah.